Hello, my name is Father Jacob Rouse, and I'm the pastor of Notre Dame Parish in Cresco, Iowa. And for today's video, we're going to talk about the first 7 stations of the cross. This is an ancient practice that comes from Jerusalem, which is literally the way of the cross, the Via Crucis, which is Latin for way of the cross. And if you ever get the chance to go to Jerusalem or the Holy Land in Palestine, it's really cool to be able to walk the actual places where each of these events happened. The point of the Stations of the Cross is for us to contemplate and meditate on the events that led up to the crucifixion and the burial of Jesus. When we do this, we can much more easily carry our own cross every day and follow his command to pick up our cross and carry it every single day. If you forget these and can't keep track of all 14 stations, don't worry, because in pretty much every single Catholic church, there is 14 plaques all along the church somewhere. So whatever church you go to, whatever parish you belong to, go there this weekend and then look for the Stations of the Cross, and you can stand in front of each one and pray in front of each one. So for this week, we're going to do 1 or 2 every single day. For Monday, I'd like you to reflect on the first station. Jesus is condemned and Jesus accepts his cross. So Pilate falsely listens to the false accusations of everyone condemning Jesus, and then he condemns him to death just to get rid of him. Just be done with it. I don't want to worry about it. It's not my problem anymore. So when have you been falsely accused by someone or a family member or someone at work? When have you falsely accused someone else? Maybe even yourself. So the thing about accusations and judgment and condemnation is that Satan, the enemy, loves to get us to point our fingers at each other, because then it causes division and it causes generations of hurt and wounds inside of us. So even though it does happen, there is still redemption that comes from it, obviously, because we have the resurrection. The second station, this is still Monday, Jesus accepts his cross. So think about this. Jesus has nothing in his hands right now. Why is that happening? Jesus has nothing in his hands. No one to comfort him, no one to alleviate his burdens. And yet, what does he receive? He receives an instrument of torture and capital punishment. So God allowed his son to carry this cross because it was the way forward towards salvation. God allows us to carry crosses in our lives because it purifies us, it makes us reliant on him, and it's just the way of the world right now until we reach heaven when there are no more crosses. So, what crosses have you been handed in your life? Do you accept them with grace and humility and patience? It's okay if you don't at first, because it's scary. Whatever it is, whether it's a temptation, a sin that keeps coming up, or an illness of yourself or a family member, these are all crosses. Any struggles or trials that are not in God's plan are crosses. And even though it's not in God's plan, God still uses these crosses to bring about amazing glory. Okay. Tuesday, the third station, Jesus falls the first time. So the weight of the physical cross, whether or not it was actually the T that we see or whether it was just a crossbeam across the arms, it's so physically heavy because it's solid wood, and Jesus falls under the weight of it because he's weak, he's lost blood, he's lost sweat, he's dehydrated. The weight of our crosses are also heavy. Temptations, sins, illnesses, struggles, trials, whatever they may be. He knows that we won't carry it perfectly, but he wants us to keep following him, just like he did, making his way forward towards salvation. So what's a time in your life that you have fallen under the weight of your heavy cross? Wednesday, the fourth station, Jesus meets his sorrowful mother. So every time we fall under the weight of our cross, there's always someone there who is with us to dust us off. Think about who is the person who was there when you fell off your bike when you were learning how to ride, or who was there when you scraped your knees as a child. It was probably your parents. And so Mary is watching her innocent son march forward to save the world, even though she can do nothing at that moment but give him comfort and a kind, loving gaze. That is part of the role of being a parent, is feeling the pain and suffering of another. You don't even have to be physically related to them. You don't even have to be older than them. But part of the beauty of this station is that it allows our hearts to be open even more to the pain of others and feel that compassion and possibly empathy. When is a time that you've had to watch someone you love very much suffer? How does this open your heart even more to the suffering of the Blessed Virgin? Okay, Thursday, the fifth and sixth station, Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus and Veronica wipes his face. So imagine you're doing yard work on a hot summer day all afternoon. What is the thing that you want most other than a nice, refreshing shower? You want someone to help you, you want a big glass of water, and you want a cloth to wipe the sweat off your face. Sometimes we can't even do that on our own, and so that's why God placed Simon and Veronica in the path of the cross in the stations so that they can serve Jesus. Jesus himself wasn't able to help himself, and so sometimes we are too weak to help ourselves as well. Imagine if Jesus refused this act of service. Imagine if Jesus refused the comfort that was given to him. Then we wouldn't know who Simon and Veronica are. So remember that even though it's hard to accept and ask for help, it gives others the opportunity to serve us, to serve Jesus who lives inside of us. So what ways this week can you humbly and truly ask for help, even though it's hard? Finally, Friday, seventh station, Jesus falls the second time. So if the third station is titled Jesus falls the first time, that implies that there's going to be more. So when we pick up our cross and when we follow Jesus, whether that cross is sin, temptation, sickness, illness, trials, just a hard day, whatever it is, we're not going to carry it perfectly. We are going to fall under its weight. But no matter how many times we fall, the most important part is that we pick it back up and keep walking. This is what makes all of the saints so great. Every single saint that you could read about or think about is basically just a sinner who did not stop trying. So as we follow Jesus, we are called to, no matter how many times we fall, he only fell 3 times in the stations, we're going to fall over and over and over and over again, just like the apostles, just like all the saints through history. So we reject despair, we reject fear, and we continue to move forward. Wow, so we are halfway through the stations now, and we're about to be halfway through Lent. So my prayer is that you continue to reach out to God in prayer every single day, continue to follow Jesus, and continue or start to humbly ask for help in carrying your cross every single day, through Lent, through the Easter season, through your entire life. Because when we ask for help, we're admitting that I can't do this on my own. That gives others a chance to serve us, to be compassionate towards us, and that allows others to experience and see the love that God has for us. So go to your church and look at the Stations of the Cross, maybe walk with them, pray with them. They're all written there, or the numbers at least. So I hope you have a good week, and I will see you this weekend.